Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Casper Weinberger. To hear technology evangelists tell it, companies across the globe should all be on the internet right now using automated software that all can work together. But of course that hasn't happened.
I'm David Hazinski. Today we're going to be looking at some different approaches to building the computer systems companies need to become more efficient in the internet age. It's a multiple challenge. Make it easy to use, integrate it with older applications, and make it flexible enough to grow and change.
Now who not only have to explain it, but they have to make it work. Pat Mottola is the Senior Vice President for Operations for PSW Technologies. PSW is a consulting and software development company, and they design corporate networking systems. World Business Review's Melissa Gardner has a report on how PSW systems help a major manufacturer remain competitive.
The PowerShot 350 is one of Canon Computer Systems' hot new products in the emerging world of digital imaging. This camera, coupled with Canon's color printing technology, allows consumers to create digital darkrooms right on their desktops. To maximize sales and stay competitive, Canon has had to add numerous distribution channels and complex pricing schemes that support the introduction of products like the PowerShot.
Used to be a business is very simple. This is how much. You buy it, you pay in the cash. That's it. All right? Now, you have a, we call the many program to appeal to our customer, and then many ways to do the business. It's very complicated in these days.
An explosion in Canon's color printing business, including its line of bubble jet printers, was the main reason Canon turned to PSW's object-oriented technology. It needed a system that could keep up with sales doubling every 2 years. Canon was able to build that system using the object-oriented software services of PSW, which help automate and integrate business processes.
Our turnaround time on orders with this system is incredible, and we can now, from the time an order is entered till the time it starts being picked in our warehouse, for example, is roughly 7 minutes or less. That was 24 hours or greater in the past. So the difference between a large mainframe system and utilizing a real-time object system is very dramatic.
In an industry that reinvents itself every 6 months, it's the difference between failure and success. For World Business Review, I'm Melissa Gardner.
Well, some very impressive figures in that video that we've just seen. Basically, are we ready to achieve savings of that kind with what we know now?
Well, we can certainly look at the various clients we worked with, and the answer is yes, but you have to object development's still hard, and particularly when you get the upfront design of a system. Once that system's in place, you tend to reap the benefits. In the case of Canon, we got to the point where we could reuse 80% of the code in the system, so the time to develop new applications went from about 6 to 9 months down to 2 to 3 months.
And is this it went down to that low period of time, but does that really save the company something? Is that something that they can translate down to the bottom line?
Well, I think the answer to that's yes, absolutely, because the key is doing it quickly, being responsive to their business is changing so rapidly. They're changing business processes, adding new warehouses, needing new features. They had previously been held captive by a mainframe computer that couldn't be modified. And so they couldn't adapt their business to the changes it needed to adapt to. With this system, they can quickly do that.
Would it be fair to say that it seems like it logically makes more sense? Clearly, if you can take a component rather than writing 2 million lines of code, this makes sense. But there's no real one-to-one proof of this working yet? No?
Well, I think it's one of those things that's going to take time to develop. I mean, components or the basic premises behind them have been around for a long time. We talked about subroutines, which were pieces of code in the old days that could be reused. We then had object-oriented programming, which produced little objects that could be reused. Components are really larger pieces of function. An example might even be, we were discussing some of these before the show, things like a pricing engine or a scheduling engine that performs a complex function that could then be the developer doesn't have to reinvent those sort of things.
I think have said that we're essentially at the baby step level here with missionary work, trying to set up another system. let's hear your projections for where that system will be 2 or 3 years down the road. Pat, where are we going?
Well, I see an interesting convergence between the package solutions providers who've made large either financial systems or enterprise resource planning systems. They are increasingly moved to componentize their products so that you can use pieces of those. We also are seeing the tools companies add to what in the past have been libraries of small bits of code to help develop. They're starting to add components. So we're getting a blurring where the information technology groups of companies, I think, are going to be able to evaluate these products and figure out which ones are the right ones to set their base, and then where they're going to need to develop their own components to supply their proprietary advantage. So 3 years down the road, I see them doing some custom development, but primarily on the proprietary components that are going to give them the advantage in their business, and a proper selection of the other components and technology to complete the product as
moving towards another level of standardization.
Exactly, and raising the level at which they're working to again be more productive and take advantage of these components.
Zinsky.
And I'm Casper Weinberger, and that's all for this edition of World Business Review.